was sent as an attachment. It was line by line. Walter Griffith spent time looking. That's what he was talking about at the public comment, about looking for non-essential spending, and these are the departments. I do not want to hurt Veterans Affairs. I do not want to see any layoffs, but yet I'd like to take looks line by line at some items and see a 5% decrease to have give the taxpayers a break.
Well, I can't speak to what Ms. Dobash has in hand. I saw last year as part of the budget a circular from someone who was not identified to me that claimed $4 million in savings, which included $1.6 million by arbitrarily reducing the pension line. So that was not a good sign as far as the rest of the items. The claim that managers need to manage, and therefore we would eliminate our consultant fees and management and consultant fees. Well, that included things like black fly spray and the cost of our financial system. So weighing that as an arbitrary number, selecting 5% across the board means, well, you can't take 5% out of pension, you can't take 5% out of health insurance, you can't take 5% out of debt service. That means the other areas of the budget are going to be reduced by significantly more than 5%. Council can do as it pleases.
Well, unless the numbers are false, Mr. Manager, unless the numbers are false, this was based on what was posted on the website. Unless those numbers aren't right, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sure you don't, Ms. Dobash.
Well, that was a nice compliment, and the reason why is because you blocked communication, sir, and that's on you.
All right, excuse me, come on.
I'm Betsy Summers. I live here in Wilkes-Barre. I just want to let you know that every month I go through my finances, and I haven't had an 8.5% raise, and I have to cut back every week when I get my paycheck. So it is council's duty, and I agree with Mr. Griffith on that. But I would like to speak about Mr. Lawton. We haven't met personally, but you are an employee of this county. You work for the people of Luzerne County and for this council. And I have to tell you, I was highly offended by your comment to Kathy Dobash.
Thank you.
And I would like council to place on record a reprimand for unprofessional behavior to be placed in his employment record. He is our employee. There is no call for this type of disrespect to be allowed by members of council. Thank you.
What I want to say is, this is not the first time the manager has presented unprofessional behavior. I, as a citizen, has spoke at that podium many times. In fact, one meeting, other candidates for county council were very appalled when they watched his facial expressions and gestures mocking me as a child in junior high. I'm not surprised to see the behavior today, but I'm just as disgusted. And I thank Betsy Summers for pointing it out, because I was going to speak on it whether she did or not. And I also want to say that maybe the manager's understanding of budget and finance can be questioned if he's questioning my understanding. And I also agree that council's solicitor might have a conflict from time to time because he's in close association with the manager on a day-to-day basis and representing council's concerns and the manager's concern, and sometimes the judicial branch. I've seen that at meetings where he's given opinion on all three branches of government. This is not a negative on Mr. Petrie, it's just stating my observations. I support Stephen J. Urban's recent comments, and we have a lot of work to do, and I am tired of the games and play with words from the very day we had a transition committee and Mr. Bobak played with the word employment and its definition, and it was very clear its wording in the charter. Thank you for giving me this voice, Chair.
Motion adjourned.
Before you adjourn, excuse me, Mr. Chair, if I may, I'd like to apologize to Ms. Dobash, and she deserves an apology. She presented a spreadsheet of reductions, and I should have taken the time to explain that hundreds of thousands of dollars of those reductions were in non-general fund departments and would have no effect on the tax base or on the tax millage. And so instead of doing that, I took a shortcut that I shouldn't have taken. I'm going to do my best in future meetings to live up to the same levels of decorum and debate that the members of this council show to one another on a regular basis. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Sean. Okay. Motion? Second. Okay. Adjourned.